Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Media Chopper Podcast. I am your boy, Serge, aka Sergerella, and I'm joined by my brother from another mother, Rick.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Today's topic is going to be a Halloween special, man. Today we're going to focus on scary movies.
Mm.
So, yeah, he's like, ooh, he trying to scare me. Ooh. Is there a specific kind of scary movie that you like to watch during the holiday season? Are you more of like family-friendly scary movie now that you're a dad, or do you like the type of scary movies that really like makes you scared?
There's so many. I was talking about this previously. There's so many different types of horror type flicks. Some of them are not, all that scary. Nowadays, everything's a remake. It's not as true to what really scared us back then.
That's
Honestly,
true. Yeah.
like the '80s, man. The '80s was the, in my opinion, the true,
Mm.
not the birthplace, but where it grew up. Horror was serious. That genre was serious back then. Now, once the 2000s came and so on and so on, everything became so diluted and everything is not the same. So, if I had to choose, in all honesty, bro, believe it or not, I'm one of those guys that I enjoy a good horror flick, but I was forced to watch them growing up. I was, I,
That's horrible.
it is horrible. And big shout out to my aunt, Titi Carmen.
Oh wow.
She scarred me for life.
She did like this. You
I,
gotta watch these.
I, bro, like I was scared of the dark, bro. So like she would turn off all the lights, and the only place that you can be is with your family in the living room watching this movie. And
What was
she,
that first movie?
well, that
What
she,
was the movie? Yeah, the one she introduced you to.
I don't know. There was so many of them, bro. Like there's so
Oh.
many of them that I haven't pieced in my brain, and I don't even know the names of them because it's not like she was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, Sergio, we're watching this movie." It was sit down, watch the movie, shut the fuck up. That's what it
Ooh.
was.
Ouch.
And
Fear.
I didn't want to. I was more scared to be in the dark, so I was like, "Okay, I'll be right here."
Double whammy.
So, uh, am I able to enjoy movies, scary movies? Yes. For example, what's that movie? Hmm. Man, it just popped in my head.
Hey, which one? Give me a scene. Give me a scene.
It was basically when foreigners were paying to torture Americans.
Hostel.
Hostel, right?
Right.
Hostel. The whole point was that when that movie came out, right? Was it the best
Yeah.
horror movie ever? No,
Mm.
but I enjoyed it because it was different. It was a different perspective. I
Right.
enjoyed it because I was like, yo, damn, they took a spin on everyone hating Americans so much that they will
Uh huh.
pay extra money to torment an American, and that's kind of scary, especially if you like to travel.
Yeah, but I think I want to say that I think that Saw gave the birthplace of that
Mm,
type of
mm.
movie, of that type of movie, that holy shit factor, that oh my god, that shock, that wow, like you didn't expect that kind of gore and horror on screen.
That suspense that you got in watching Saw, and I enjoyed Saw. I kind of felt that same type of suspense in watching Seven because it
Right.
was it was the unknown. Like how are they gonna get out? What's gonna happen next? How are they related
Mm.
to each other? What choices are they gonna make that's gonna change things?
Is he actually gonna free them?
Yeah, yeah. How did he think of everything? It's like
Mm.
baffling your brain as you're watching it, and then at the end, like that ending for Saw One
Oh
blew my
man,
mind. I was like,
fucking epic, yo.
what?
That was
Spoiler. The guy he was laying on the floor pretending to be dead the whole time, and he was awake while the
so
dude was in the room trying to figure out how to get out.
that was beautiful. That
I
was
was
absolutely
I,
beautiful.
I was like, man, that was so well done. That was great. That was a great spin. And
And
then
I
the
like,
rest of them, the rest of them, are the rest of them.
yeah.
Unfortunately. So I mean, I can't really answer your question, bro. Like, there was a lot of movies that scared the hell out of me, man.
Mm.
And we'll get into different titles, but I think the scariest, man, of them all are the ones that involve spirits because it's almost like,
So you like the supernatural scary movies?
no, I don't like those.
Those are the ones that are too
No,
scary for
no,
you.
no, no. I watch, but I ain't gonna lie. It doesn't matter how old I am. it'll shake me up a little bit.
I
It'll
think I
shake
know
me.
why though. Like if you have any kind of religious background, us Hispanics, right? We all about like those santerias and voodoo and magic and spirit realms. So when we see a movie that has a lot to do with supernatural, like we kind of like invest in it because of our culture. So we're getting like a physical manifestation in film of everything that we've been scared of when we were little.
I think honestly, it's because when you watch these movies, you're thinking logically. Why'd you do that? Why is that
Mm,
dumbass walking in that dark ass hallway by himself? Why didn't he, like you're thinking along those lines, but ultimately, when you're dealing with a psychopathic killer, right?
uh-huh.
You're thinking, my logic is going to keep me out of that situation. When it comes
Right.
to spirits, you have no control. You have no control of them haunting you. You have no control of them messing with you. So you're really vulnerable, and it's that vulnerability that really messes with you because we all have our spaces for comfort, right? For
Right.
safety, and when you dive into somebody's safe space, whether it be in their room or in their house with their families with the doors locked and everything, guess what? Spirits can go past that, and that's what's scary. Like,
There's
I
no
don't.
barrier. There's
Guess
no
what?
real barrier.
Hey guy, I don't need you to open the door. I'll be right there.
Yeah.
Hello, knock knock on your shoulder. I'm right here.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, man, I mean, I truly believe the '80s had to be even more creative because of the lack of CGI.
Right, I get that. Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't an option back then, to my knowledge. They had to be real creative with animatronics. What do you call that? The material?
Oh, claymation? What?
No,
No.
no, not claymation. For those really good masks.
Oh, the silicone.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
silicone masks are great, man, and they mold to your face, so it's not one of those things where you can see the separation. But
Mm,
you know, definitely, man, those masks are great, and they add a whole nother dimension of realism.
right. Sorry about that. I got a phone call.
It's okay. You're an important guy. I understand this.
Oh my
This is
God!
this
Stop it!
this is your show, but I'm just your
Wow.
psychic. I'm just your psychic guy.
Wow! 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 He
Break
said,
it. So, where should we start, man? I mean,
I want to talk a little more about the what do you call it? No, you said we were going back to like the time frame for scary movies. I think that they were trying to make a comeback with movies like The Ring, The Grudge, and stuff like that.
there's
I think
always
those were
there's
successfully scary.
think about it, right? There's a lot of like directors and writers that are always been about putting out quality stuff. For
Mm,
example, Stephen King has always put out quality stuff. He's based his life around it. Wes Craven based it around horror. Rob Zombie, like these are all huge names, and when they're tied to a project, it's like, yo, this guy's gonna go above and beyond to scare the shit out of you, whether it be with makeup or whatever or storyline. You know, these guys are so well respected in the game. They dedicated their lives to scaring the hell out of people. It's
yeah,
about and all they did was turn up the volume and make it even more demented. And these images are gonna get burned in your head. You know.
right. And that show was pretty scary, man. And it's the way they used the cinematography, the way they like the short movements really fast. Actually, Gillette was actually telling us about that when stopped by yesterday. Remember, he's talking about how the way they just move, like they right in front of your face.
And it's crazy how that type of editing or tricks, it
Yeah,
really adds a
it
whole
works.
adds a whole nother dimension of being scared. Like, man, because again, I think our minds work where I can outrun him. I'm gonna run. I'm really fast. But
Mm.
guess what? The bad guy will meet you there. When you turn that
How?
corner, he's there because he's the bad guy. That's why he's the
He's
bad
got portals. He's got portals and shit.
guy. It depends which one. It
Right.
depends which one.
All right. So, what's the first movie we're gonna talk about? Which one are you gonna bring? Which one are you gonna
Well,
analyze for us?
I think it's one of the baddest bad guys around, man. And this one, it scared a lot of people because it did exactly what I just talked about. It entered your safe space. There's no safe space. There's
Mm.
no, you know what? Stay away from that cave. Stay away from the woods. No, this came home to you. This came home with you. This messed with you in your most vulnerable state. And when is that most vulnerable state? When you're sleeping. So the first choice I'm gonna choose is Nightmare on Elm Street, Wes
Perfect.
Craven, right?
Perfect horror film.
Uh, that movie scarred a lot of people for life. Just like anything, they milked the hell out of it. I remember later on they had Nintendo, and then he had like a game Nintendo. I forgot what that glove was called.
Oh, the Power Glove.
The Power Glove, where they
Yeah,
incorporate Freddy was using that in one of his movies.
I remember
Just,
that.
just to torment the kids. So, but Freddy Krueger,
Ooh.
it's an interesting story. So Freddy Krueger, uh, he pretty much went after kids, teenagers, and at one point I read that he goes after the neglected. So what that means
Mm.
is like you have a lot of kids that are basically on their own, or they don't really have a lot of rules to abide by. So they like to party, whatever. So he went after those kids, and Wes Craven actually named him after a bully from school,
Mm. Oh
right?
wow.
Yeah, so his name was actually Fred Krueger,
Mm.
and he never forgot this kid, and he decided, you know what, we're gonna change it to Freddy Krueger, right?
Right.
And there was a point where there was in the LA Times there was a story about a group of individuals that passed away they died in their sleep,
Right.
and and it was said that they were having nightmares, and something like that has never happened before.
Mm.
Someone dying in their sleep because of their nightmare, that's unheard of. So he read it and was like, man, this is scary. You know what, let me try to put this together with my character. And then from there he started developing what he looked like, and he gave him like a burnt face, and he had like this signature striped shirt, right? And there's only two people that has that signature striped shirt. It's Freddy Krueger and it's Waldo. Okay, so
That was a good
I don't know. You might
one.
you might be scared of Waldo, but Freddy Krueger scared the crap out of you. And
Mm.
he had a signature glove with these knives coming out of the fingers, which was crazy. He was like the first version of Wolverine, so to
Right.
speak, right? And he would attack these kids in their sleep, and there was no, think about it. You're trying to survive, and then eventually everybody has to be alone at one point, or even if you're
Mm.
with in the comfort with other people, you get tired. It's natural, So he would wait for you to get tired and again come after you. So it's such an interesting story with that. And also read about how when he would pose a lot, he
Mm.
wouldn't do a lot with the glove, like ha, like that. He would just kind of just show it to you, and just like, I'm coming for you, right? And
It's like a threat.
that alone was like scary. In fact, I got a picture of it. The actor's name is Robert Englund, and he's very very well known for his role. This is Robert
Mm.
Englund, right?
Yeah.
And man, I remember growing up, and my cousin used to scare the crap out of his sister with the Freddy mask. And whenever he wanted her to do something, he goes, "Don't make me get Freddy."
Oh shit.
And she'd be like, "Okay." Like, she'll do whatever he wanted because she was terrified of Freddy. And I ain't gonna lie, like, I was glad I was on his side because he
Mm.
didn't use that against me, but that was pretty scary. So, what else? The way they filmed it was actually interesting. So during Nightmare on Elm Street, um, as much as Freddy Krueger was the bad guy, he only got 10 minutes of of film time
That was
in the movie.
contractual.
No, I mean, it's not. It was done on purpose, right? And the reason, you're building up to it. You don't have to. It's using your mind against you. So you're building up to it. These kids are running, and they're trying to figure out how to survive this, and so on and so on. One person's dying at a time, and all throughout, you're just building up the idea of the storyline of Freddy, and then when he comes, it's like, wow, oh shit, oh man. So like, it was pretty crazy. As a matter of fact, there was a very big actor that got his debut in this movie. Do you know who it is?
Oh, that was Johnny Depp's debut.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
I mean, it might not have been his debut, but it was one of his very, very early
very
movies.
first movie. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So like, look at this guy. Look at this pretty boy, man.
he died a very horrible death.
Everyone would get pulled into their beds and everything. I remember I went to a haunted house once, and there was a scene where we were like in a courtyard, and there was a window, and you're forced to look in the window, and you see this girl getting ready for bed, and she's in her pajamas and she's stretching and everything, and then out of nowhere, she starts screaming, and you're like, there's no way out of this courtyard, so you're like, what do I do? The window's closed, and someone pulled her into the bed, right? And you see her get pulled into the bed. It was creepy as hell. And then coming out of the bed was some weird ass figure, and then he came out to our section, terrifying as hell. But that was taken from Freddy. Nightmare
That's
on Elm
crazy.
Street, but a lot of fun, definitely a lot of fun. Let's see what else information I have on this.
Did you see the remake, the reboot?
At what point? What year? I've seen a lot of them, so like they kind of all meshed into each other.
No, they made an actual. Forget the guy's name, but they did a reboot and they were expanding. I don't know if they did a retelling of his origin story or if it's part of the original one that he was actually like a child molester or something like that.
Yeah, I heard about that, and that wasn't the direction that Wes Craven necessarily wanted to go in. But for that reboot, they did. Yeah, I read
Okay.
something about that. Freddy Krueger is so bad that besides the theme music, he had a kid's. How can I? What
Nursery
can I call
rhyme.
it?
Nursery rhyme.
They turned a
Yeah.
nursery rhyme that will forever be remembered and be burned into your brain. You want to hear it?
Sure, go for it.
Funny story, real quick.
Uh.
I played it for my lady, and the first beginning of it started, and she said, "Turn it off. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it." And I was like,
Spooked her out.
"You're a grown up now. Like, what's the? I don't want to hear it." She said, "I don't want that to take me to a really uncomfortable place."
Wow.
That shows the power of Freddy Krueger. All right, check this out. That's simple. And you were terrified. And it would show girls jumping double dutch, and they'll play that song, and then you see this empty ass street, Elm Street. Terrifying, bro. Terrifying. So that's my choice for my first for one of my first scary movies that definitely left an imprint on me.
Yeah, that's a classic, man. You can't go wrong with Freddy, man. There's no escaping him, man. Everybody's going to sleep eventually. They've tried several times not going to sleep. They've tried breaking night, and he's patient. He just got to wait for you to knock the hell out.
They didn't have coke back then to keep them up all night.
But even eventually, Coke is gonna wear off.
Yeah, very true.
He's the perfect murderer, man. He's the perfect.
He's very patient.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a way to get him into the real world, and that's when he was vulnerable. When he was
Right.
in the real world, you were able to hurt him with fire.
Right.
But in his world, in his dream world, in his hell world, he was able to utilize fire against you.
You know what flaw I just thought about right now, like with the whole idea of Freddy Krueger and being able to kill you in your dreams, right? You've had very, very lucid, scary dreams, I'm sure, in your lifetime, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been killed in your dream? Almost, right?
Almost.
Almost, but just
Yeah.
before it happens,
Yes.
you wake right up. It goes back to like the movie Inception. They had that snap that wakes you up from your dream. It's that kick, they called it in Inception. Is that moment of like the shock. So I didn't understand how people. I just thought about this right now, like how people are getting killed in the dream. Because I could imagine like just before he stabs you, your body's gonna be like, get the fuck up.
Well, usually that's what they do. They cut to a scene where you're just waking up and you're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. It's been really tough, man. And with them diluting the whole franchise, it's hard on Freddy. He had to find another form of.
Are you sympathizing with Freddy?
I'm just saying, man. He had to find another job because the movies weren't doing that good. Last I heard, he was doing security.
Really?
I got a picture. You want to see?
Sure.
Yo, needless to say, he didn't last. He didn't last long.
That's fantastic.
He was sleeping on the job and he got fired.
Oh shit.
That rhyme.
That's great. That was great. Oh man.
Definitely. What about you? What tickled your scary bone?
Man, the movie I'm going to talk about today, the first movie I'm going to talk about today anyway, is a movie that still scares me to this day that I cannot watch by myself. It was just so masterfully, cinematically created. That movie is The Exorcist. Man,
Mm.
yeah, and that shit, even to today, it transitions really, really well because they didn't use a lot of they didn't use CGI and nothing like that, and the makeup, like whoever was doing the makeup back then did a phenomenal job. Whoever did the editing, the makeup, like you can watch that today and still feel like it's something real. Like
Hmm.
you could, like it doesn't look like it didn't age badly. It aged really, really well. It's still very, very believable. You can watch it right, like oh, what they did good in that movie is the visuals, man. Such scary, scary, scary visuals, man. Like the really, really close ups of her face, man. Oh shit! Oh, you motherfucker! Yeah, that's the actual demon that possessed her.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, listen, man, and sometimes you didn't have to do much to scare people. All you
yeah,
needed was a nice dark shot and a scary ass face. But
yeah, and just
I
like
agree.
when they had her like just staring at the face when at the screen, and then it's like it darkened up. You just see her eyes green and stuff like that. She's just staring
Yeah,
at you. Oh
I,
man, that
I had a
shit.
picture.
Whew.
I don't know what I did with it, but yeah, her makeup definitely holds up, and it was terrifying. And I think it touches on what you said about Hispanics and close to their religion and everything. And then you have a joint like this. This is a very, very soft spot. And when they started really not just doing a movie about demons, but doing it well,
Right.
scaring the hell out of you. You had a priest there trying to figure out how to reverse it. It was terrifying. You couldn't control the girl. You know.
Right, and the beauty about that was that it was telling you different stories, so it really like brought you into the crowd. You had a priest that was struggling with his faith
Yeah, I remember that.
because
Yeah.
with the loss of mother, and then that's the same priest that's gonna have to count on his faith to be able to extract this demon via an exorcism.
Hmm.
So I mean, it was really, really powerful, man. And just like I said, the audio, man, and that combination of the crazy ass sounds they use and the noises she made. Oh man, that shit'll mess you up. Like, "Ah!" And in a double toned voice and just harmoning and grunting,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
this motherfucker. And what they really did, like I think this movie came out in the '70s. Actually, it did late.
Hmm. Let
Let
me
me
ask
see.
you.
Yeah,
I'll take it out.
let's check it out real quick. I want to say it came out in the '70s, and it was just like at that time it was really, really taboo to make films based
1970,
on.
bruh, 1973.
Wow. Yeah, and that shit is still it holds its own today. And at that
Wow.
time, like you never saw anything like that. Anything that had to do with like religion and uh, uh, sexual language, not language, sexual
Hmm.
material, sexual material, and minors. That combination
Yeah,
was like
yeah,
pure shock value.
yeah,
Like
absolutely.
to see her like talking about sex and stabbing herself with a crucifix, that was taboo. Using religious artifacts that
Both
people
together, yeah.
hold dear, and you're desecrated it by having her stab herself in the vagina with this shit, yelling "fuck me, fuck me."
I do remember that. Yeah, that was. I remember watching it for the first time, and obviously, I was born in '80, so it's not like I saw that when it came out. So I saw it
Right,
many, many years after the case, and
and still,
I was a big, big, big movie fan. I was always buying movies, so I bought it, and I remember putting this on. And I always enjoy a classic movie and appreciating it for everything it did. The impact it left, and it's still popular and everything. And I put that on, and I was just in shock, like wow, wow. And and just thinking, just like you said, think about it. This didn't come out like this was really taboo, man. And
yeah.
in 1973, bro, to put this in theaters.
Just imagine the combination: a minor, sexual material, religion,
Hmm.
desecration of religious objects, all in one. People were like, oh, "What the hell is going on here? Is this little girl really
It,
saying these
it
obscenities?"
it hit everybody's sensitive spot, and it was just like Everyone, I can imagine. I wish I could have seen people walking out of that theater when
At
they
that
saw that
time.
movie at that time, like traumatized.
Yeah. There's
You know,
there's video like that. There's footage. They have it's dated. Obviously, you're gonna see like
it's gonna be black and white.
yeah, exactly. But they do have that footage. It's crazy.
Hmm.
It's just absolutely bonkers, man. It's like what do you do? The Exorcist, man.
Yeah, definitely those.
I don't want to say I recommend it because it'll fuck you up.
But listen, man, if you are a true movie fan and you got to watch it, like
Or just a fan of horror in general. If that's your genre.
yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, I can't say that I'm as knowledgeable about all these different scary movies because I don't really feel confident in what they do nowadays. There's
Mm,
not as many original ideas, but
right.
if there are, you'll hear about it because people will talk about it, and
Yeah.
then I'll give it a shot. Like I appreciate I like prequels, and when prequels are done right, it gives you a little storyline on how that character became that character. If it's
Hmm.
done right, I love it. I love it. I love it. Because otherwise, it's gonna be more of the same. Like kids in a situation. Oh, we got to get out of here, and then one person dying at a time.
Right.
And it's just I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it, and it doesn't scare me. It doesn't scare me. Now, don't
Right.
get me wrong. It might startle you, like
Right.
I'll jump out of a closet or jump out of a dark space. Oh, I didn't expect that. But scaring me and me
Mm.
taking that home with me are two totally different things.
Yeah, we were talking about that last time, where that people like the horror genre has fell off, but there were some exceptions. All the one you talked about, I talked about Jeepers Creepers, and you mentioned another one.
Mm. Um, what was it about? I mean,
I honestly,
I've been looking into so many horror flicks, and one thing that I've seen, especially during the '80s, there were so many demon movies, bro. Like,
oh yeah, Supernatural, man.
so many, and man, like they really wanted to traumatize everybody, man, and they all have their pros and cons for each one.
Right.
But man, like so many different characters to really be scared of that really messed you up. You know,
Yeah.
Hellraiser. Who else? You know,
I mean, it's funny. I was telling you this last time. Is Hellraiser really scary? It's like if you can't solve a Rubik's cube, you don't got to worry about it, right? As long as you don't solve that thing, they can't attack you. You're
yo,
good.
we got YouTube now. YouTube will help us.
Oh my god, that's terrible, man.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely. So, you ready to move on to the next movie?
Absolutely, man.
All right. So, like I said, man, growing up, I have bits and pieces of these movies burned into my brain. For example, I'll just name a couple of them that stick out. Monkey Shines. I don't know why that scared me so much.
Wow,
Yes, I was
wow. I
scared
forgot
of
about that one.
a clapping monkey, bro.
That's crazy.
Meanwhile, my nickname is Gorilla, but that's a whole nother story, right? But like, it was that demonic freaking or the early Child's Play, right?
Oh, that was great.
Right, that was great.
Let me
Bro,
tell you.
I ain't gonna lie, that made me look at my Teddy Ruxpin doll like
You had a Teddy Ruxpin though.
yes, I did. Hey, I
You
was
grew
like,
up better than I did.
you better stay over there. And I ain't gonna lie, I used to play hip hop music inside of Teddy Ruxpin so he could rap.
Right. It just reminded me, like, what's a good age to have kids watch like those kind of horror films, right?
Mm.
And my ex at the time, right? I think her daughter was about 5 or 6 years old, and we were watching Child's Play, right? The whole movie, the first Child's Play, watching the whole movie. She's not scared, right? At the end of Child's Play, they put him in the furnace and they try to burn him,
Yeah.
right? And she yells at the TV. She says, "No! He only wants to play." Because that was his line. "Hi, I'm Chucky. Want to play?"
Oh my god. What,
Yeah,
you said this?
the kid. She
Oh,
screamed at the
people.
top of her lungs. She said, "No! He only wants to play." It's like
You didn't see the rest of the movie.
exactly. She sat through the whole movie, and apparently she had no problem with him killing people.
Yeah,
That
just
he was
just
playing.
because he's playing with his friend. He didn't kill him.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
That
Andy-
shit was
was it
classic.
Andy? Yeah,
Andy.
was his friend. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was classic, bro. I'll never forget that. That's just forever embedded in my brain.
That is innocence
At its best, yeah.
at its best. Absolutely, absolutely. So So you have, like I said, Child's Play. You have Monkey Shines. You have man. There's so many great movies. But one movie, like I said, I have bits and pieces of these things in my brain. So then I start researching, and I'm like, yeah, this is it. So I came across this movie, and it's also another Wes Craven created story, and it's called. Let me pull it up. Bing, bing, bing. The Gate.
Oh, I remember that.
So the
That's
Gate.
another. That's an '80s classic, right?
It's an '80s classic, 1987. And what's crazy is that this is one of those movies that came in a very, very, very untraveled path time, if that makes any sense. What that means is that, for example, Scarface, when it came out, with Al Pacino, it was so violent. They kept giving it a NR rating, a porn rating, right? They took down the violence, still. Took down the violence, still. Now, the cut that they have nowadays is still very, very, very violent. I think they got tired of rejecting it and then finally said, here's your R rating, right? So this movie, The Gate, was very violent and very gory. And bro, it was under the PG-13 title.
How'd they pull that off?
Bro, it was different times back then. It was different times. And then, as I was researching it, they said that it was actually even more violent. So the gore and the violence in this movie really mess with your imagination. So what that does is, like, think about it. This is just me. When you're facing a nemesis, a bad guy, right? Yeah. You're thinking, how can I defeat this person? But what about if everything you do, you can't account for? So, for example, this zombie, this dead person comes at you, and you're fighting it with all you have. It falls over, you're thinking you won, and then it turns into a bunch of different freaking demons, right? Yeah. And then now they start coming after you. And I think it was a level of claymation and everything that really messed with people. But, like, there was some really disturbing acts in there, the little demons. And what's funny is that we spoke about special effects. Back then, what they said was this. They said special effects relied on creative ideas instead of computer graphics. And that's during that time. They were thinking, how can we creatively do this? So when you had those little demons staring at you, chasing you, fighting you, and everything, and there was a bunch of them, right? We're like, oh, that's claymation. No, it wasn't. It was a bunch of regular-sized people in rubber outfits.
Shit! I didn't know that.
And filmed in an environment that everything was so much bigger, and then they put it together, so it looked like they were really small.
I didn't know that.
But they were really regular-sized people. They didn't have to hire.
That's before green screen, man.
That was before little people. They didn't have to hire all the little people.
That's horrible.
Some movies they have to hire someone that's small.
Well, right? that's the new norm. That's the new norm.
So, and God bless them, they have work. But for the most part, I think that's very creative on there. So the storyline is about these kids. It's another kids-based movie, and they discovered a hole that actually led to another dimension of hell, or the dimension of hell.
Right.
And this hole, opening it up, brought them in, and these figures were gory as hell, bro. Like, I'm talking about, like, blood coming out of their faces from fighting them and just strangling them, and stabbing freaking demons in the eye, and then these things really coming after you. I was watching it. And I was so focused on watching the trailer and I was reliving it as I'm watching it, that somebody was walking past me as I was doing it, and it scared the hell out of me, bro. I was like, damn, what's wrong with me? Like, I'm a grown-up. I should not be scared. This is not real, but it still had that effect on me. Ironically, when this movie came out, real quick, before I even get to that, what's his name was in this? What's his name? Stephen Dorff. You know who Stephen Dorff is?
Oh, yeah. He was in Blade.
He's in Blade. He's been in a lot of movies, right?
Yeah, he's in that movie?
He was a young kid. He was the main star in that movie.
And I didn't know that.
And what's
That's
crazy is that it happens now, too. when there's success in the industry, people try to copy it. So when I don't have his picture right now, you could look it up if you like. Stephen Dorff, the way he looked in that movie, they modeled him to look like Elliot from E.T.
No way.
Yep, his haircut and everything.
Yeah.
Because they were like, yo, the success of this movie, you know what, we're gonna get a kid that looks just like him. They were looking into other kids and they chose him because they were able to model Elliot's look with his haircut and everything. And interesting, right?
It's very interesting.
So when this movie came out, it went up against the likes of Axel Foley in Beverly Hills Cop 2, right?
Okay.
And
different
genre, but mega hit. He was huge on the scene. Eddie Murphy was this amazing comic, this amazing action star. It translated well on the scene. He was the man. In fact, if there's anyone right now, side note, who could you compare to Eddie Murphy? The way Eddie Murphy was on the scene back then, to go from comedy to movies. Kevin Hart,
I guess, yeah.
But it's not the same, right? Because
not the same level. He wasn't like
like Eddie Murphy was able to play detective.
He was bigger than life, yeah.
He was able to do whatever he wanted, you know. He had more range, and you know, I'm not trying to take anything again, away from Kevin Hart, but totally different, right? So he went up against Beverly Hills Cop, and this came out around the same time, and it held its own in the box office at that time, which says a lot. You know, the movie was scaring people enough, and the word was getting around enough where people weren't dismissing that movie and going to see the mega hit of Beverly Hills Cop, because that movie was great. Because the first one was great, the second one, you know, people were going to flock to it. So that's a interesting point. What else do I have on this? The little demons were actually called the Minions, and they were
that's so, crazy.
Think about it. The Minions is not a term that was created, right? The term has always been there. The Minions,
right?
You're the people beneath you. You know, you're slaves, right? But they were actually referred to as the Minions in this movie. Those little devils, those little creatures, were referred to as the Minions in that movie. So if you think about it, the birthplace of the first Minion.
There you go. All right.
Yeah. So, great movie, man. A lot of action, holds up today. With a lot of it, a lot of the stuff was in the house and in the backyard. And when they filmed it, they were doing a lot of construction in that whole area. So they didn't want all that noise of them constructing all these new homes and everything to interfere with filming. So they literally, all the scenes in the backyard was on a stage. They had to make it look like you were outdoors. They had to make it look like all that, you know, with the hole and the dirt everywhere and the trees. That was literally all on
stage.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty cool.
They built the stage for it. Yeah. That's awesome.
So they were able to film in the house. But great movie. Certain parts of it are a little cheesy in terms of
the visuals.
The visuals in terms, like, there was a scene where there was a girl and a boy, right? And then she was like, the kid, I don't know what's wrong with the kid. He was zoning out, and she was like, I forgot his name in his character's name. She was like, "Go get Dad's gun. Go get Dad's gun." And he was just zoning out. She's like holding onto the door, and the Minions are like breaking through the door on the bottom, right? And she's like, "Go get Dad's gun." So he goes to the closet, and when he reaches into where the clothes are, not a demon, but like someone who's dead, right?
Right.
A zombie comes out and bites his hand.
Yeah.
And he can't get his hand back. So it wasn't like you bit it and you see blood gushing out. No, he was just holding on to the guy's hand like this. And he was like, But like, bro, can you punch the zombie, please?
Right, do something.
He was just standing there for mad long with the, and you could tell, like when they were filming it, don't bite down too hard, and he won't fight. And that's what it was.
And he won't punch in your face.
Yeah. Exactly, but you know, listen, a lot of those little subtleties make the movie even funnier and even more nostalgic, you know.
Right.
But yeah, that's my second choice for a movie that definitely disturbed me at such a young age.
All right, so for my second choice, I'm gonna go with.
Did I show you the cover of it, the gate?
In the beginning, yeah.
Yeah. These are the Minions right there.
Yeah.
Pretty scary, right? Little creepy things. You know what they remind me of? Critters.
Oh
Remember
yeah, I
that
remember.
movie?
Yeah, yeah. Critters, those little balls
Critters,
of hairs.
bro. Critters. Those are like B type movies. Like,
Right. There's a lot of them, man. Yeah. What was it? Critters, and you had trolls.
but
Um.
if you think about it, man, yeah, the
Yeah.
leprechaun,
Yeah.
um,
Oh, right. Leprechaun was
leprechaun,
scary.
it was scary. It was sadistic as hell, bro.
Yeah.
And then the clown, Attack of the Killer Clowns,
Right.
demented, demented, and it's like you never saw a clown like this before. And then
Right.
now when you watch this movie, you actually there's people who were scared of clowns. You know?
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Super
man,
scary, bro.
definitely. So
And so
what else do you got?
For my second choice, man, I'm gonna go the route of zombies, man,
Yeah.
because the zombie has evolved over time. Remember when zombie movies first came out? They were just really scary looking,
Mhm.
very powerful. You can't kill them, but
They got all these different rules. Yeah,
yeah, but they were slow.
yeah, and
Zombies
that's
are
what.
slow,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
that's why I was never scared of zombies. I was like, ooh, they're scary. Let me pivot this.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna walk around
Yeah.
and we're gonna be all right.
All you need is good eyesight to see where they're coming from, and you go the other way.
And
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah, yeah.
But with I want to say when Dawn of the Dead came out, they introduced sprinting zombies,
Hmm.
and that
And they
that
don't
shit just took
they don't get tired. Yeah,
that shit took the whole fear factor to a whole nother level because now they can't die, and they gonna chase the shit out of you. They gonna
or, or
you,
yeah, definitely. I agree. I agree.
oh, it started with Dawn of the Dead though. You know they were
Yeah.
just like sprinting and stuff like that. So, but the movie I'm gonna be talking about is Dawn of the World War Z with I was about to say Kevin Bacon
Oh, totally different. Totally different. Yeah.
with Brad Pitt. Yeah,
Brad Pitt. Yeah.
World War Z. And
I,
they
I can say that when that movie came out, I was very pessimistic about it. I was like, "Come on,
really
man," because it's been done, and I felt
right,
like, "Yo, listen, all these movies that were great, Dawn of the Dead, all these different zombie movies, it's been overkill. How many times are you gonna change the rules, right?" And
right.
this obviously had a lot of CGI to it, but
Mhm.
I watched this movie, bro, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I
Yeah, it was
thoroughly
fun.
enjoyed it. Brad Pitt was great. They signed him on for more, and they just didn't come out with another one. They kept saying, "Oh, we're gonna film," and it still hasn't happened.
Yeah, man, and that movie just like they put their own little spin on the whole zombie thing because there's always a weakness when it comes to zombies, right? You cut off their head in Night of the Living Dead, and they can't do nothing because they were biting your brains, right? Brain. Remember that Return of the Living Dead or Night of the Living Dead? Brain.
Yeah, yeah,
They would
yeah,
show that shit, bite into the brain, and that was their thing. You cut off their head, they can't eat your brain. Good to go, right?
yeah.
Well, in this one, the way you could kind of like not defeat them, but the barrier is if you had like some kind of life-threatening sickness, because those zombies were like a virus and they need a viable host. If they sensed that you had any kind of deadly sickness or illness, they wouldn't touch you. So in the movie, once they figure that out, they're on a mission to try to get to I guess the CDC or the World Health Organization, wherever the hell they keep the viruses at,
Yeah.
and he had trying to infect himself with a curable deadly disease. How to make sure you got the right one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I gotta go with that's the zombies, man. That's running zombies are fucking scary.
Yeah. And there's a scene in that where they're climbing up the wall.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that. Yeah,
So yeah, man.
yeah.
Intense.
Now you got zombies doing teamwork, bro. So they
And
implemented that.
yeah, yeah. It was because some noise was being made. It was like there was some people who were protesting inside, right? And they heard
They
it.
were celebrating
Okay.
because they built this big ass wall, and they thought that wall was gonna keep the zombies away. They thought they were in a place that they were untouchable. And the zombies said, "Oh, you must not heard about us. We're the new breed of zombie, right? We
Yeah.
think a little bit. We got
Well,
teamwork,
It
right?"
was like, yo, you should have made a dome.
Yeah, exactly. See, y'all didn't think it all the way through. Y'all didn't think it all the way through. But yeah, man, it's just and another thing is that they made the transformations really, really quick. You get bit by one, and like it was a 10-second countdown. In
Yeah.
10 seconds you were transformed.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it spread so damn fast. Another movie that did that really, really well was I Am Legend. I Am Legend with Will Smith.
Oh, I love that movie. I love that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, well they did a mix of vampire and zombie thing because they couldn't come out in the sunlight.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
so I like if you're gonna do the whole zombie genre, whatever the zombie thing, it's good to put your own little mix on it to make it interesting. Because, like you said, it's been done and overdone and overdone and
Yeah,
overdone.
definitely. I love. That's one of my favorite movies to this day, man. I Am Legend. That
Yeah,
environment, that world, being in Manhattan and it looking like a foreign country,
yeah,
desolate place, was crazy to me to see that. The visuals in that were amazing,
hmm
and then these, I don't know what to call them. Those creatures, those hybrid of
yeah.
zombies, whatever,
Uh,
were strong as hell. They were fast as hell. They were super mobile,
and they were
like,
smart.
and it was smart.
They
So,
weren't like dumb zombies. They were smart.
and that's what scares you. Is like, man, like I can't outsmart them. They can outsmart me. They were able to
Right.
They were able to communicate with each
hmm
other, and there was levels. There was parts in that movie where you see them just watching. They
hmm
have their, they're just watching to learn, setting up booby traps. Crazy, very crazy. But
They
yeah,
watched him. He set a booby trap to catch one of them, and they used the same booby trap to catch his ass. But only problem, they had to wait till nighttime to get him. So,
but they were willing to. That was
yeah, he's hanging upside down. The sun's coming, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And that we talk about movies that make you cry. That had a sad moment with the dog. Obviously, his best friend.
that was tough to watch.
Yeah, especially for you dog lovers out there, man. If you're a dog lover, stay away from that movie. It will definitely pull at your heartstrings.
Listen, I've come to realize, especially with the group chat, that you are as soft as they come.
A sentimental. I am. I am, man. I don't know what it is.
You know what really pulls at my strings? Yeah,
Mhm.
I ain't gonna lie. Certain things pull at my strings. It's emotional moments like that, right? Saying goodbye for the last time.
Really, that gets you?
Oh, if it's done right, woo!
Uh,
Are you crying? Nope, I'm not. No, I'm not.
I'm good at holding my cry, but I get that crazy ass knot. But if somebody sees me crying, like holding, they can tell. They'll start talking to me on purpose because once I start talking, I can't talk. I can't talk, and I hate that shit. That shit exposes the shit out of me. I'll be okay. My eyes are red. The a little bit of fluid in them, but I'm holding. I'm doing good. But then they want to ask a stupid ass question, like, "Oh, that's kind of messed up." But yeah,
Oh man,
you can't say no words. All your words are breaking up.
so I start breathing harder.
Yeah, yeah, that helps. That helps a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah,
Lower lip, you can't control that shit.
yeah. What's the call movies do it to me? Like emotional sports movies or speeches, they get me, man. They
Yeah.
definitely get me. But I definitely I feel like I hide it pretty well. Listen, along with all this, it's been really tough. It's been really tough on everybody. We're dealing with COVID right here, which is crazy. People are forced to quarantine, and we're not the only ones affected. Bad guys are affected. Jason's affected,
It's stupid, man.
right? Like, Freddy Krueger was affected. I told him he had to get a security job. In
Uh,
fact, I had footage of how much this has affected these killers, these horror guys.
let's see it, man. I gotta see this.
People are quarantined; they can't get to you, but they're waiting. Okay,
Uh,
here's a quick little scene. Powerful, right? Powerful. It's real. Quarantine,
you're a fucking
COVID.
idiot, bro.
Jason, and he had to wait out there, and bad guys had to learn to work together.
Oh my god, he's fucking raking leaves and shit. Unbelievable. I wonder how much he charged, right?
Well, happy time is when Jason turned around and saw him. Michael Myers,
Because he always creeping up on you. You don't even know he's there.
bro, happy time, man. But
That's just classic.
definitely, man. There's a lot of movies worth mentioning, man.
Right.
There's a
I'm not
lot of
against that.
great movies. Off the top of my head, you got to give tribute to the originals.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about. Let me see. Birds, right? Birds was it? Um, yeah, it was. Pull it up,
It's a movie called Birds. Who's in it?
bro. It's before your time. It's
If it's before my time, it's before your
it's
time
a
too.
Hitchcock movie. That is true. It's a Hitchcock movie, bro. Hold on. Yeah, Hitchcock movies. Let's see. His movies were great, right? Birds is one of them. Psycho was it? What? Psycho was it? Was another one? Am I wrong?
I don't know if it's a Hitchcock movie. I'm not. I have no idea. Unfortunately, someone who loves movies, I don't know all of Hitchcock's library of
Oh,
films.
those you gotta watch them. They're classic, and a lot of it deals with a lot of our directors now get their influence from him. So for example, M Night Shyamalan, he takes a lot from that book. So with Birds and Sight in the movie Psycho, they don't show you much. They just show you the somebody in the shower. They show you those vulnerable points, and then all of a sudden they just pan to the drain, and then you just see blood going down. You see someone's shadow behind the curtain, and then they stab at you. But then they don't show the actual act. They just show you. It's the art of cinematography to scare you. It's using your own imagination against you. So M Night Shyamalan has done a lot of that. So in the movie, what is it called? With Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix. You know what I'm talking about? Signs.
Oh, Signs, right?
Signs was exactly that. It was a movie that they didn't show you the aliens until the very end,
And
right?
even then, it's just a little touch, a little,
And and
little.
that, and, that, and that's all they needed. That scene when that alien was trapped in the pantry, right? So you see M Night Shyamalan in his own movie, and he's like disturbed, and he's in the car, and Mel Gibson's talking to him, and the last thing he says is, "By the way, I trapped it in the pantry," and just leaves like.
Yeah.
Hello, could you should have told me that before in the beginning, right? And then you
He
see
kills himself, right?
you see him pacing back and forth, and he takes the knife, Mel Gibson. He starts talking to it, and when he starts talking to it, the shadow stops walking, right? Like it's like listening to him, right? Now it's trapped in there, it's locked in there, but he can only see a shadow. He can't see what it is. He takes a knife and puts it under the door to
A
see the
scare factor.
reflection, and then the claw comes out, bro, like this, ha! And he chops off out of fear, out of reflex, chops off one of the fucking creature's fingers, bro. That scene puckered up my butthole so tight, bro. I was in the movie theater and I was terrified. I was like, oh. And then there's the scene later on when they're in the when they're getting away from the aliens, and they're coming inside the house, and they're in the basement, the subcellar, and it's very dark, and then they're fighting off these aliens, and then there's a part where the light goes out, and you hear them rustling in the basement trying to get the light back on. And when they finally because he was down there with his kids, and
Right.
when he got the light back on, he sees his kid just kind of standing against the wall, kind of letting his father protect them. Like, you protect them, Daddy. I'll be right here. And then all of a sudden, you see right behind him there was like an old vent from like
Yeah.
a coal mine, and you see the claw grab his son, bro. The art of not showing you much,
Yeah.
it's amazing, man. So that's a very, 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 very big,
Powerful. Yeah.
powerful scene. But if you think about it, it's not like these spirit movies. These spirit movies scare you like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
Candyman, which they're doing a remake of pretty soon.
Jordan Peele. Yeah.
These movies really scared you, bro, and they took it with you, But you gotta mention these movies. There's so many great movies. It's hard to mention them all.
Right. There's some classics from the family-friendly side of the Halloween things, like the original Ghostbusters, Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, Little Shop of Horrors.
Scissorhands was scary.
It was dark,
Not scary,
ish,
bro. Not scary.
right?
It was.
But it's a Halloween movie, I guess. Yeah,
It was goofy.
it's family friendly. The Nightmare Before Christmas, Adam's Family is a Halloween family friendly. Falls under family friendly.
Not scary. Not scary.
Right? No, I didn't say it was scary. I said family friendly.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And do you enjoy a good monster movie?
Like, what are we talking about? Which monster?
Werewolves, vampires, stuff like that.
I have enjoyed a good werewolf movie and monster movie. if it's done right. A lot of the werewolf movies have been like foreign, so they're not on American soil. So
Mm.
like you get a hold of the cinematography is filmed in some great places. They have really good, great structures and stuff like that where you see them on the roof and everything. Man, I forgot the name of that movie, man. It was a long time ago. I saw it in the movie theater. And I was like, oh, I gotta get that on DVD. It was a really good werewolf movie.
You remember what was in it? Well, a scene or something?
I mean, it was werewolf. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it was a werewolf.
At the end of the day, like it was in Europe somewhere. Like somebody kept
American Werewolf in Paris?
It might have been. It might
Or
have been.
American Werewolf in London?
I think Paris sounds right, but
Yeah.
it was done well.
I,
But I don't remember it that well though.
how about this? What's one of your what if one of the scariest transformations you've seen? That's whether it be a vampire, a werewolf, or anything like that.
Transformations?
Yeah, like when they turn from human to the actual monster, when they go from human to vampire or human to werewolf. What's one of the most visually scary or visually beautiful transformations that you're seeing?
The Fly.
Oh, really?
Oh, that messed me up. Like, he was teleporting, and then he started slowly. His skin started peeling off, and it was disgusting, bro.
His beef and potatoes fell off. It
Exactly.
did. He had it in the jar. I was like, ugh, that's crazy.
That movie was, and then you started seeing like it wasn't saliva, but it was like slimy type substance coming out.
Yeah, that fucking acid.
He was turning into a fly, and then you see the hairs coming out of the face,
Mm.
and the skin starts coming off. Bro, that was hard to look at.
Yeah.
But it was very well done.
I like some of the transformations in Underworld. Underworld did a good job with that too.
Mm.
Like the werewolf
And
transformations.
there was a lot of really good fighting scenes and gun scenes with that.
Yeah.
They really,
yeah.
that was kind of like, I mean, for lack of taking the time to think this out, that was kind of like the Matrix of those type
Of
of
that, that's good example. Yeah, that's good. It had the same dark thing.
because it was dark, it was crazy fighting scenes.
Hmm.
It wasn't done full, but it was like some really really good elaborate fighting and scenes.
I just remember this really awesome transformation. I forgot the movie with Benicio del Toro that he was a werewolf.
Hmm.
Benicio del Toro werewolf movie. Was it called Wolf? Oh, The Wolfman in 2010, man.
That sounds so familiar.
Yeah, that transformation, bro. And the amount of anger and animosity he had when they didn't want to believe that he can't be there and he's transforming. Like that's a really good transformation.
That's a 2010 film.
Yeah. But Benicio del Toro, that Wolfman movie was pretty good.
Yeah, that was really good. I love Benicio del Toro. He's great.
And this guy from Silence of the Lambs was in there. I forgot his name.
Anthony Hopkins is in there too.
Yes.
Yeah. But definitely. Let me see something on here.
Oh, how we mention scary movies and not talk about Gremlins?
Gremlins was scary, but it wasn't like terrifying.
Yeah.
But I love Gremlins, man. I definitely love Gremlins.
Tell me you didn't want a Mogwai.
Oh look! Oh, by the way, I finally found it. You were talking about Exorcist before. Everyone wanted a Mogwai.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah, bro. That you were talking about the eyes. Scary stuff, bro. Scary stuff. Damn, you obviously are still affected, bro.
Yo, that shit's no joke. There's an even worse picture, man, with just a close up of her eyes and everything's really, really dark. And it's not good, bro. Shit is not good at all.
Yeah. Oh, damn. I had a picture I was trying to show you. Let me see if I can get it. No, Benicio del Toro. They did a great job with that. And I'll pull up this one right here. Let me see if I can get it. What else you got for me while I look this up?
Not that. Were you really scared of Jason?
No.
Yeah,
No.
I never went to summer camp, bro.
No, to you, it's that simple, bro. It's that
Yeah.
simple, bro,
He doesn't. If you don't go to camp, you get money. He's not fucking with you. That's why I decided not to send my kids to summer camp because it's kind of dangerous.
The Ring was a scary movie, man, and
Yeah.
and it was scary to know that you had to pass it on to someone else.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it wouldn't kill you. So that movie definitely left an imprint on a lot of people, man.
It was scary, but it's funny because my friend's wife, Jessica, she said something when we were talking about scary movies. She was like, she just needs a scrunchie. And I was like, holy shit, it's so true.
To help you look at it in a totally different light, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know what? She's not so scary anymore. She has a scrunchie. Get a scrunchie.
You know what? Yeah, she needs a comb. Yeah.
She comes at you and you be like, here you go. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, here's Benicio del Toro.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
And they went with the classic look of the original, like, Wolfman.
Yeah, definitely. I love him.
Kind of look like Teen Wolf.
It's funny, I was about to say that. Did you watch the Teen Wolf from Michael J. Fox?
Absolutely. It wasn't scary, but absolutely. It was a great werewolf movie. Yeah.
He played basketball and he had pom pom shorts while he played basketball.
Oh my god. Seen his little wolf nuts when he went to go dunk and shit?
Only you. But you know.
Oh my god. And that's our show for today.
Yes. Hey guys, we really appreciate everything as usual, man. We love the feedback, the back and forth talking inside the Facebook room. A lot of great stuff, man. As soon as I get articles that are interesting enough, I try to share them. And man, you guys are right on it with like giving us your opinions, and it could be anything from comic book heroes to horror genres, and you guys are on it, man. And we appreciate you. We want more stuff from you guys. We want to utilize this stuff so we can talk about it in these shows, or even if we have a certain type of movie that you want to hear about and you want us to give our little synopsis of, we can do that. And
a guy actually reached out to me and he had a really good idea we should talk about. He wants to do a show on stuntmen, like the greatest stuntmen in movies, because he's a big Jackie Chan fan. So Abby, thank you for that email. We'll definitely, look, you see the excitement in his face, right? That's a really good topic. So thank you for bringing that up. We'll definitely get to work on that.
It'll be interesting. It's one of those things I would want to show people, because
right.
Listen, you have a lot of stuntmen. Jet Li did stuff, and Jackie Chan is the godfather of it and everything. And
Keanu's up there too. Keanu's up there too.
You can't compare Keanu to freaking.
No, absolutely not. No, two different animals. Different animals.
Jackie Chan was filming movies with a broken foot.
Yeah, I think we'll save that for the thing, because Umbach was the competitor to Jackie Chan. That guy,
tied to another level, and the violent elbows and knees.
And he did all his stunts. There was no special effects in his movies. You know that?
What's funny is that whenever there's an actor that's doing something like this, they always are saying like, "Yo, it's time for the torch to get passed."
Right.
And Jet Li was huge on the scene, and there was a point where Jackie Chan was huge on the scene. So when Jet Li came in, they were like, "It's your turn." Even though he was still making movies, Jackie Chan, it's your turn. And then when Jet Li passed it on, it was that guy from Ong Bak, which was crazy. Unfortunately, he didn't translate as well on the screen as Jackie Chan. And
right, he didn't get that superstar status. And I think that has to do with the quality of the movies. Yeah, like if you make a really good movie and you're an amazing stuntman, boom, that's like instant fame right there. And that's what happened with Jackie Chan. He did what was it, Rush Hour?
Rush Hour was huge, man. And
I'm sorry, that wasn't the one. It was Rumble in the Bronx. Was his debut? America,
yeah, definitely. Rumble in the Bronx was great, but he's he's a student, kung fu. Takes it very seriously. He's trained, and it shows, man. His different forms, his early movies where he was just showing you all the different styles, Tiger, Crane, and all that stuff. It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. He's amazing, and we're definitely gonna have to do some research for that one.
Absolutely, it'll be fun.
Yeah. So thank you guys, man. We appreciate you. Until the next show, do what you love
and love what you do, man. See you next time, bro.
Peace out, y'all. Thank you.
Yeah.